Hi, everybody. It's good to talk to you today. Today we've been in Jonah a while, and I just want to also tell you what I've been using for the last few months. In fact, it's getting kind of tattered and worn. See, the front's coming off, but it's called the Jesus-Centered Bible, and that's what I've been using as kind of a basis for all of these devotions recently, and been going through the Old Testament looking for how Jesus is in the Old Testament. And today, it's kind of fun. Jonah, you remember the story of Jonah. He'd been told to go to Nineveh. Nineveh is a sworn enemy of his, so he doesn't want to go there because he knows God might be gracious and not just wipe him out and destroy him, which is what he wants. And so he heads off the opposite direction, twice as far away on a ship, and has all kinds of trouble there. A storm comes up and stuff, and then he decides, you got to throw me over because I'm the problem. So they throw him over reluctantly. Actually, he converts the whole ship, all these sailors, and he doesn't even mean to. He's the most reluctant, most successful prophet in the whole Old Testament. And a fish swallows him up and then spits him out in the ground after he says this poem or prayer. I want to read it to you. It's practically all of chapter 2 in Jonah. And it goes like this. Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from inside the fish, and he said, I cried out to the Lord in my great trouble, and he answered me. I called to you from the land of the dead, and the Lord, you heard me. You knew me in the ocean depths. I sank down to the heart of the sea. The mighty waters engulfed me. I was buried beneath your wild and stormy waves. And then I said, O Lord, you have driven me from your presence, yet I look once more toward your holy temple. I sank beneath the waves, and the waters closed over me. This is one of my favorite lines here. It says, seaweed wrapped itself around my head. But then it kind of makes sense. There'd be seaweed in the belly of a whale or a fish. I sank down in the very roots of the mountains. I was imprisoned in the earth, whose gate lock shut forever. That must be the mouth of the fish. But you, O Lord my God, snatched me from the jaws of death. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord, and my earnest prayer went out to you in your holy temple. Those who worship false gods turn their backs on all of God's mercies. But I will offer sacrifice to you with songs of praise. I will fulfill all my vows, for my salvation comes from the Lord alone. Then the Lord ordered the fish to spit Jonah out onto the beach. Isn't that great? I'm wondering, though, you ever had a wrestling match with God where you know you're supposed to be doing something, but you don't want to? I think that's something we've all had before, and you struggle to obey what God wants, and that's Jonah's story, but it's also our story. And have you ended up in Nineveh anyway? Have you been struggling against the Lord, and then you're pretty much doing what the Lord wants anyway, because the Lord's not going to give up once he wants you to do something. And you know what? This is not a bad thing. This is what it's all about. And, even Jesus struggled this way. When he's in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prays to God, Lord, take this cup from me. If it be your will, take this cup from me. But then he adds the most faithful prayer. He says, not my will, but your will be done. And that might be something we want to put at the end of all our prayers when we're praying and asking God for something. God, I remember Garth Brooks, that song, Unanswered Prayers. If you haven't seen it before, go to YouTube and type in Unanswered Prayer. Garth Brooks is a great song, but he goes to his high school reunion, and he goes to the football game, and he sees a girl that he wanted to marry when he was in high school. And he had made a prayer that said, if you make her mine, I will never ask for anything again. Of course, that doesn't happen. And he looks at her years later and realizes that God answering no to that prayer was really what he needed. And So that might be a good idea whenever you pray or ask for anything to say, Lord, this is what I fervently want. This is what I think I need. But not my will, but your will be done. And I think that's a great prayer. It lets God know what you want. Of course, God already knows that. But it also lets God know that you are open to whatever he wants. And what God wants is often way better than what we think we should have. Many of you know my friend, my good friend Todd, and he often says, if I had got what I asked for, if I had gotten what I asked for, I would have sold myself short, because God had so much more in mind for him. And that's true for all of us. God has so much more in mind for us than we would ever guess or know or understand. So there you go. When you're struggling with God, tell God exactly what you want, but say at the end, not my will, but your will be done, because I know that's going to be the best for me, and it's definitely going to be the best for your kingdom. All right, well, have a great day, and God bless. I'm a little bit long today, but I think it's an important topic. Take care.